There is a new report out and it claims the proportion of children who are vaping is on the rise, with some being influenced by videos on social media, etc. So we're wondering, has your child vaped? What got them into it? I know there's some sweetie flavours that might attract them. Maybe they're a smoker who's now using vapes to quit cigarettes. Earlier we spoke to Deborah Arnott. She's from ASH, Action on Smoking and Health.
The ASH survey shows a near doubling in underage vaping over the last year, from 4% to 7%. But the vast majority of children have never vaped or only done it once or twice. Vaping is much less harmful than smoking, so for anyone who's a smoker, switching to vaping is the right choice. However, we'd rather children didn't smoke or vape. What's needed is more enforcement, and that requires the government to put more money into trading standards. Plus, the disposable vapes that have surged in popularity over the last year are brightly coloured, pocket-sized products with sweet flavours. No wonder they're attractive to children. That shouldn't be allowed for products which are only meant to be used by adults.
Meanwhile, Kent Trading Standards have been cracking down on illegal e-cigs. They've been finding products for sale that contain higher than legal limits of nicotine. So we spoke to Oliver Jewell, a Principal Trading Standards Officer here in Kent.
UK regulations, they set out that a disposable vape can be a maximum size of 2 millilitres and has a maximum strength of 20 milligrams per milliliter. So what we're seeing disposable vapes out on the shelves, sometimes up to 6 times that quantity. I think we've seen some even higher than that. And there are some products out there in higher strengths than the 20 milligrams. So, I think we've seen some up to 50 milligrams per milliliter.
Well, let's talk now to Marcus Saxton, Chairman of the Independent British Vape Trade Association. Marcus, welcome to the Wake Up Call. Thank you for being part of the conversation this morning. And I suppose the first thing to note when it comes to illegal vapes, is this a bit of a blight on your industry, giving it a bad name?
Yeah, absolutely. Great to join you this morning, and good to hear from Deborah earlier on around the stats. And this concerns us. By the same token, as you say, it undermines the great work that's been going on with the vast majority of businesses in this industry that has taken place since 2008 and helped over 3.6 million smokers make the switch. But it's really important. Anything around illegal, non-compliant vapes and or getting into the hands of users is something we want to take really seriously and support the authorities to stamp down on.
I suppose in some ways it's not surprising, isn't it? It's human nature to sort of push the limits on things and say, here, I can give you this, it's got more nicotine in, etc., etc. But there are reasons, as I learned earlier, why we have standards and why we have limits on nicotine.
Yeah, absolutely right. And the UK has been very pro-vaping because it's seen the role it can play in helping so many smokers switch. So you're absolutely right. The regulations are in play for a specific reason. And as the Trading Standards Officer said there, it's about 2 millilitres of liquid being in a vaping vice and a maximum of 20 milligrams. So anything that seeks, as you say, to entice people with something that's larger or contains greater nicotine is just totally flouting this regulation. And certainly, as you say, undermines the great work that's gone on by the vast majority.
I suppose awareness is really important, part of the reason for having this conversation, because some of it might be ignorance on the part of shopkeepers of what they need to look out for, and even just the fact that this is going on, that's going to sort of alert their senses to be a bit more mindful about what product they sell.
You're absolutely right. And equally so, Anna, it's about consumers themselves. We have over 150 shops across the country, and I can assure you the number of consumers that come in of adult age and ask for some of these illegal vapes is just incredible. And when we inform them that these are not regulated and should not be sold on the UK market, a number of them, to your point, become educated, and therefore we convert them on something that is safe, is compliant, and they walk away with the right product. But there are some still that, as you highlight, that seek to go and find those larger products with greater nicotine. So it's both the role of shopkeepers to be educated, but also the consumers, and we welcome the opportunity to do that with you today.
Quite. I've learned a lot throughout the course of the morning. Also that the limit is 18 to walk into a shop or buy them online. Now it's an interesting one, this, because you heard Deborah saying, maybe there shouldn't be like sweetie flavours, but actually a lot of adults really like those, don't they?
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. Our particular business called Totally Wicked has been selling vaping products since 2008. We've helped over many, many tens of thousands of smokers switch. We sell over 300 different flavours are available.
Wow.
And many other retailers have the same. And just to let you know, over 80% of adult smokers will prefer to use a flavoured vaping liquid or device. And that's quite simply because they've been addicted to the killer that is tobacco combustible cigarettes. Once they've made made that initial switch, often through a tobacco or menthol flavour, because that's what they were used to, they very quickly want to move away to something when actually they get their taste buds back because they've given up smoking. And actually they want to move as far away from the things that they were addicted and was killing them for so many years. So flavours do play, to your point, a really important role. And that's the important context to give here.
Yeah, indeed. So what do we do? Because I think everyone's agreed, you shouldn't be vaping if you're a child. And I'm hearing stories actually of children being addicted, putting their hands up in class to go to the loo, but actually they want to vape. They can put a vape very easily in their pencil case and hide it and things like that.
Yeah, so what we have to do, Deborah referenced it is trading standards are seeking to do as much as they can to seize these products. We report through the IBVTA anyone that we sell and find selling illegal vapes or to minors. And therefore, effectively, unfortunately, what this is about funding. It's how do we get more funding to the right areas to go and seize these products and take the right action. Just on your point around them being very convenient, you've again got to understand the context here. Whilst there is a negative consequence, as you highlight, the vast majority of people are adult smokers using these products. And it's very easy to hold a cigarette out on a Friday night and just have it in your pocket and pass it over to a friend or smoke it yourself. And in this instance, disposable vaping devices have been a game changer so far as enabling very simple combustible cigarettes to have a very similar but much safer alternative to be used.
And again, it comes down to them being in the right hands, doesn't it? And
correct,
actually,
exactly that.
We
exactly
have tight regulations here in the UK. It's just about making sure they're stuck to. I have to ask you, so I'm curious, Marcus, you say you've got 300 flavours. What's the weirdest or the most unusual?
I'm not sure they're weirdest. It's always fruit and dessert flavors. You find ice black currant.
Wow.
It's a very, very popular favorite of many, many people.
Summer,
black currant
sure.
flavors, fruits in general, or desserts are certainly a very interesting and popular flavor. But like many categories, and I've worked in many, a bit of new news keeps people interested and most importantly keeps them away from those combustible cigarettes and sticks to vaping, which is 95% safer.
Interesting stuff. Listen, Marcus, thank you for filling us in this morning. There is a new report out and it claims the proportion of children who are vaping is on the rise, with some being influenced by videos on social media, etc. So we're wondering, has your child vaped? What got them into it? I know there's some sweetie flavours that might attract them. Maybe they're a smoker who's now using vapes to quit cigarettes. Earlier we spoke to Deborah Arnott. She's from ASH, Action on Smoking and Health.
The ASH survey shows a near doubling in underage vaping over the last year, from 4% to 7%. But the vast majority of children have never vaped or only done it once or twice. Vaping is much less harmful than smoking, so for anyone who's a smoker, switching to vaping is the right choice.